was a lot of talk after the trade about how quickly Giannis and Dame would mesh and learn to play together. How would you assess their on-court relationship at this point in the season?
I mean, I think it's still growing. I think I wrote about this about 20 games into the season, so about a quarter of the way through the season, them working on their pick and roll, um, relationship and how often they're doing it. And I think overall, we haven't seen Giannis Dame pick and roll nearly as much as we thought we were going to see it going into the year. Like both here in Milwaukee, and then I think anytime you watch the Bucks as an outsider, you go, don't they have Giannis and Dame? And like, aren't those
Right.
guys going to just like run pick and roll together all the time? Like you think of, with the Warriors and Steph and Draymond, you turn a Warriors game on, you're going to see some pick and roll. Like those two are going to be in those actions together. And yes, they're going to run their split cut action and all of the cool stuff that Steve Kerr has installed over the years. But you're going to see some pick and rolls. And with the Bucks, you just don't really see a ton of it. And I think that's kind of been one of the interesting things. Both of them are putting up awesome numbers. Giannis is putting together the best rim finishing season of his career to this point. He's just putting up insane efficiency numbers. He's been able to score when we're talking about the three best players in the league, all those guys are doing ridiculous things. Jokic, Embiid, and Giannis, like those three big men are pretty untouchable as far as like the MVP conversation goes. But while a lot of the focus has been on Embiid Jokic, and we just had an Embiid Jokic game, Giannis is right there with those dudes. Like if you're looking at the numbers and the fact that they got a first-year head coach, things haven't been like the smoothest. I mean, if you're thinking about an MVP case for Giannis, it's pretty impressive that they keep winning games. And a big reason they keep winning games is just his individual transcendent play. So he's been great. Dame has struggled a little bit. He hasn't been as efficient as he has been in previous seasons. He's struggled to find his role a little bit. How does this all work when, you have the greatest transition threat in the history of basketball in Giannis? Okay, so if he's bringing the ball up, what do I kind of do in these situations? How does this work? I'm used to bringing the ball up the floor and, being a threat to hit a pull-up three or have defenses worry about me from the start. So we're halfway through the season, and I think the Bucks are still trying to figure out a lot of that. Like they're 41 games in, second best in the Eastern Conference, 4 games behind the Celtics, 28-13 record. So things are going good from an outcome perspective, but I think from a process perspective, they're really, to me, still just scratching the surface of kind of what they can do offensively with those two guys together.